Tell our audience, what is steampunk jazz?
Steampunk jazz, let me back up. Steampunk, the label, refers to the application of the aesthetic from the Victorian era, the steam era, steam age, to modern art, clothing, music, utilizing that old aesthetic, as I said, and putting it with the trends and the popular styles of the day. In steampunk jazz, it's a little kind of a less tangible concept, but let's say that you use the big band as the Victorian model, okay? Not to say that jazz big bands were in the Victorian era, but if you take something that's old, that has not survived in terms of popularity, in the 40s and the 30s especially, big bands were the popular music of the time. That's what everybody was listening to. That was the new music. So that has since faded away, but let's pretend like it didn't. Let's pretend like it is still the popular form and it's moving through the ages. So we're taking that model as the Victorian concept and bringing it forward into the current times and melding that with the musical influence of today. You've got hip-hop, you've got pop, you've got rock, you've got alternative, and you've got all these new sounds that are being used by the old thing, the big band, and so the big band has kind of become the vehicle to express this new sound, this new music with instruments that are not typically associated with that music. So the reed section is going to have flutes and clarinets and bass clarinets, and of course all the saxophones and the trumpets will be using flugelhorns as well, and different styles of mutes and things like that. So we're getting all these new colors, but we're using it to express the music that's outside of the realm of what a big band is typically known to play.
Is there anything in modern day pop culture that we can associate steampunk with, whether it's movies or shows or music we currently listen to?
Well, I mean, I think if you go back and watch the Wild Wild West with Will Smith, you're going to get all the steampunk you could handle. It's I didn't even know it had a name when I saw it. I just thought it was so groovy, all these wheels and cogs and stuff like that on their clothing, and just what seems to be almost Rube Goldbergish is too much to convey the application, but it's a really great movie, and I think that's real classic steampunk, especially clothing. And I think you can even go and look at the works of H.G. Wells and imagine what he was trying to do, or look at the old Tim Burton Batman films and see these larger-than-life things, the designs of the cars, the designs of the building, which just seem completely out of place in a modern society. It just seems like it should be gone, but they've beautifully incorporated this old aesthetic into the new. And the term steampunk is something that was coined around 1987. It's not something that has been around for a very long time.
So it's a fairly new movement in music.
It's definitely a new movement in music. It's been in art and in culture and in fashion for much longer than in music. In fact, I would say that the term steampunk jazz was probably coined by Darcy James Argy because of just his concept of bringing that old medium of the big band into the modern aesthetic.
And what makes this work particularly challenging or unique to our listeners who are coming in on November 7th?
Well, for the musicians, it's just hard music. We have very challenging time signatures where it's not a traditional 4/4 or 3/4. We're moving in and out of time signatures in 5 and 7. We've got, like I said earlier, the reeds are going to be playing not only saxophone, but they're going to be playing a bunch of different saxophones, flutes, piccolos, alto flutes, clarinet, bass clarinet. So that's challenging as well. And not only are the parts individually challenging, but just putting the entire group together to get that cohesive sound is very challenging, but very rewarding once it comes together.
And so it's going to be a high energy, big band, but this new fusion that people are going to experience.
It's going to be something I would bet most people have not experienced. I think the challenge for the audience is to say, why am I hearing this crazy distorted guitar next to a flute? I think that's going to be a challenge, but I think they're going to walk away. You won't be walking away tapping your toes, but you're going to walk away with a smile on your face.
And that was my next question. What can people expect to take away from the concert? After you're done, after this experience has been fully fulfilled, what do you hope they take away?
Well, I hope they take away the fact that that their concept of the big band has been completely shattered. that the big band is not just for dance music. It's not just to provide music for what we would consider an older generation. I mean, this is music for everyone, and I think that the combination of instruments and the sounds that we're going to be putting forward on Saturday the 7th will, like I said, shatter that conception of what the big band is, and I think they'll say, wow, then there's pretty much nothing that an ensemble of this size and instrumentation can't do.